Hey, I think we're finally on. Hello, everybody, whoever's out there. So sorry, it was a little bit late starting. I'm doing battle with the technology. And that's really one of the reasons for having this session, so I can work out what we can and what we can't do using a webcam stream. And I'll tell you the first thing, anybody who's got some advice on the difference between using YouTube for a webcam stream and a live stream and all those things, send it in, but in layman's terms, please. So this is a webcam stream, not a live stream. Thank you, Gareth, hello. So now at least one person can see me and hear me. And I'm just going to test out my end of the equation in terms of texting. Can you see my text, Gareth? I'm thinking he probably can. That'd be useful just to know. Got all sorts of dinging and binging going on. And we've got, I believe, 11 people with us. So me starting late hasn't helped. Yep, Gareth's giving me the thumbs up, so that's all good. So we'll just give it a couple of moments, see who else is going to join us, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat, and I'll share a few things that I know a few people have been asking to know about. So who have we got out there? If you've got the opportunity, guys, just say hi and your name in the live chat, which should be off to the right hand side of your screen, just so I can try and gauge who's there and how all of this works. I've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings for work lately, and I've got quite used to that, and it is actually quite a powerful tool. And I think one of the things that is going to frustrate me about this system is I can't share my screen with you, which is why I probably need a bit of advice on things like live streaming. I think that's subtly different. Hiya, Tim. So Tim's out there. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got a few more in the background. In fact, there's quite a number of people joining in now. Just give us a little hello on the right hand side. That'd be useful. I've got Graham. Hi, Graham. Graham Walker's here now. And Ian Gilbert, Pete C. Oh, brilliant. Everybody's joining in. I'm getting my beer, so I'm happy. I don't know if Udo's out there, but if you are Udo, then you know why. Cheers. David McFeet. If I murder anybody's name, by the way, in terms of pronunciation, I'm sorry. I'm genuinely dyslexic, so I'm quite likely to mix up all the letters in your name anyway. Plus, combination of my Brummie and Lincolnshire accents means we're on a loser from the beginning. So no offence is intended, trust me. Okay, so cheers, everybody. That's a hell of a head. Right, so what do we know? What's going on? So first thing to do is just to say thanks to everybody who's been watching the videos lately and subscribing and helping us to grow the channel. We've got King Cobra has just joined us. Hey John, thanks for all the XK8 videos. How's your new XK8? Any issues so far? Haven't had a chance to watch the latest videos. No big issues, few little issues, including one of my own creation, which has upset me a little bit. I did a video on changing the speaker to make the clicker go on the indicators, and it doesn't work again. So I think I've managed to pinch a wire with the mechanism for the steering wheel up and down. So that needs to go on. But other than that, no, all good. Christian Nielsen, hi everybody. Cool. So yeah, last video was obviously a bit of a share on changes, but it wasn't really changes. I decided not to change the way the the videos work and the channel works and make anything subscription, because the amount of views we get in is increasing. So that means there's a little bit of income from ads, and we launched the stickers. So if you're not aware, everybody, we've got stickers now, and they've been going well. So they look a bit like, that's a paper one. They look a little bit like that. Oops. And we've made some stickers that go on the insides of your windows. And there's a lot of people ordered those in the first couple of days. They've only been out a couple of days. And 53 people either have them or they're on their way to them. So thank you very much for getting involved with that. And that video was also basically saying, look, we've always had a website. We've never used it. So now I'm starting to use that website to drop all of our documents, bits and pieces, but also things like stickers. And on the back of that, already people have said, why can't I have a sticker that sticks on the outside of my car? Well, they're on their way, because I want one of those too for my toolbox. So that's on its way, guys. Should have those available in the next week or so, I should imagine. And I think everybody wants to get the Christmas orders in, because basically I've got to dress everybody by the sounds of it. So we've had requests for, are going to be to the garage hats, are going to be to the garage jackets, t-shirts, even socks. I can't guarantee all those things. There will be hats, because, as you know, I'm a hat wearer. So cold beanie, windy peaked cap, etc., etc. So I would definitely going to put a couple of hats on the store there. Hi, Papa Keys. King Cobra, is there no super chat option, John? No. And the reason there's no super chat option, King Cobra, is I don't understand it. This is a exploration into the unknown for me. I think that allows you to get easier, quicker priority access to me, or something like that. And it's typically paid for. So it's not something I've done, because I've not really gone down the paying for things route. But I'm still learning on all this. So we might end up coming back to, here's Super Chat. It's just donations during the live streams. Oh, okay. Well, donations I'm okay with. Anybody wants to send anything. This was a donation. That's why I showed it. From the lovely Udo in Germany. He sent me 3 bottles of beer. You're a lovely, lovely man if you're watching, Udo. And you have very, very nice beer too, by the way. German purity laws are a brilliant idea. Okay. So all that's going on. So yeah, we're going to build up the regalia, if you like, so that people can get at a few bits and pieces. We had a few requests for information about, where's our fellow subscribers, etc. And I shared at the end of the last video a quick chart showing where everybody was. And that's triggered all sorts of people wanting to know more stuff. So just a quick run through, guys. So the average person who watches the channel, you're 94% male. So all the ladies out there, hi, we value you highly. Please find friends and bring them along, because apparently the 94% of us are male. The most common age, the mode, if you're an engineer, is 55, which makes me a relative youngster. Just where are we? It's obviously a evolving thing, but 38.6% of the people watching the channel at any time are tending to be in the UK, followed by 22% US. And they're the obvious target audience for a British guy speaking English, talking about British cars. That's quite inevitable. Then there's a big jump down, and then we hit British-speaking countries that are maybe not so covered in Jags. So Australia and Canada. And then there's a whole smorgasbord of countries joining in. We've got 47 countries that have got sort of 20, 30 people watching at any one time. So that's good. The interesting thing on the geographical demographic, I used to have quite a lot of people watching in the Philippines. Seemed a random country to have, quite a large number. It was like number 6 or number 7 on my list. I could never quite work out why am I so popular in the Philippines? By accident, I found out I sold the Navara NP300. All the people in the Philippines have now gone away. So I think we can make an assumption there that pickup trucks or Nissans or Nissan Navaras anyway were very, very popular in the Philippines, and there was lots of people watching because of that. So that was quite interesting to see. And I always get a lot of questions about what's the most popular video, what's the biggest secret or whatever, who's watching what. And this one's a little bit weird. I don't know if I'm irritated by it or not. The most watched video on the channel, none of you, I'm guessing, would ever guess it. And that is my garden shredder. Part of it is it's been out there a long time, plus it's popular. There's always people watching the garden shredder. I don't know why. I don't think it was a brilliant video. It is a brilliant garden shredder. Go check it out. Next is the 1 hour long review that I did on the XK8. So it's called Best V8 Sports Car ? And yeah, that seems to get viewers engaged, drags in new people who want to know about the car. Probably people who aren't XK8 owners and want to decide whether or not they're going to be into it. And then they're all old videos where I've just described. Number 3 is a more current video, so that's probably more an indicator of what's popular. And it's episode 4 of the XK8 show. So that was the last XK8 show that we did, the one that also featured the brilliant collection of cars from our South African friend, which again, I'm still staggered by the facilities that guy has. It's amazing. Gerard, hi. Gerard's joined us. Oh, sorry for being late. Blimey. Good job you weren't here on time. You'd have realised I was late. So that's all that's kicking off there. If anybody has any questions and you want to ask them in the text, then go for it. I've got a few questions that I've been sent that I'll cover off in 1 second, but I'm just trying to catch up with what's going on the right-hand side of the screen right now. Brian Robertson, the shredder video was blooming useful for sure. Help me in my choice. Thank you very much, Brian. So, yeah, I don't know the first thing about garden equipment, but I've got a lot because if it's got a motor or electric motor or an engine, I enjoy it. And the garden's big and shredding things is really, really useful. Drop the question mark is my advice. No debate. Yes, it's the best V8 sports car. In fact, the only debate on that is, should we be calling the XK8 a sports car? Obviously, technically it's a GT, but it's a lively car. And in convertible form, particularly, I think it feels like a sports car. It's longer than all the other sports cars. But yeah, is it a sports car? Is it a GT? I think it straddles that gap rather well. Certainly later XKRs are incredibly quick. Does that make them a sports car? I don't know. What is the definition of sports car? That's a good one. Okay, King Cobra. Hey, John, one question or request. Can we maybe get more performance updates videos for the XK8? I've done the Adamesh exhaust stage 2 upgrade, but can't find any cold air intake options or other performance UPG, I think. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I think is a simple answer to that. Possibly not via me, or upgrade, thank you. Possibly not via me, because I like tweaking my XK8 and I've got a few other little jobs to do on it that will make it a little bit quicker. But I have no intention of pumping it full of nitrous or anything like that. But we are getting quite a lot of really good content, stories, PDF little blogs, etc., sent in by the subscribers. And some of the guys out there have got monster cars. So I think we can all share in what they've done. I do know that you can get the cold air intake system and smooth stainless intake system from Mina Gallery, I think it's called. So that might be one for you to check out, King Cobra. Nice, easy mod. Looks pretty, makes your car go a bit quicker. Street Gen 6, Robert B. Scogan. Will you make a video of actually opening and closing the convertible top manually? Oh, okay. Yep. I think I've described it several times, but I've never actually done the do. And to be fair, now you say that, there is a small trick to that. And you kind of got to push in at the sides to break the legs of the hood frame in order for it to fold easily. Otherwise, you're hanging off it. I'll see what we can do about that. But I would point you out, there is a fabulous YouTube channel, Jagvet. I think it might be Jagvet1. And he's one of our subscribers as well, friend of the channel. He's got some great stuff on there. Is it Jagvet1? I can't remember. I think it might be Jagvet1. You'll find it. And certainly he's got a video on showing how to do that manual fold. But yeah, that's something we can do. Papa Keys 3, beat 911 at roundabout. You have beat a 911 at roundabout, or you want me to try and beat a 911 at roundabout? I reckon that's easy to do because 911s are a little bit leery, if we're honest. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up in a ditch in one of them easier than you are in ours, that's for sure. Upgrading my dipstick tomorrow as per Jag's information. This is Brian Robinson. John, any thoughts on all the malarkey with engine oil quantity? Yes, so I have seen all this in the various forums. So what's going on, for those of you who don't know, is the dipstick in your car, if you've got an early car like mine, I can't remember the actual quantities, but bear with me. Dipstick that I've got in my car tops you up, let's say, to 10 litres, just for a round number. Later cars had their dipstick swapped to a shorter dipstick, and that would make it 11 litres. Don't go by these numbers, boys and girls. And there's a part number on the dipsticks, and you can kind of check out which one yours is. And the reason it was done is when they introduced the XKR, which came out a couple of years after the XK8, essentially they did all the mods, same oil pan, same everything, and they had a few circumstances where cars were going in for warranty and it looked like maybe they had oil starvation, and they put two and two together and decided that maybe because the car is so fast and maybe because of the cat suspension, people were able to generate enough G for long enough, and that probably means they're putting it on a track, if we're honest, or going round and round islands. Maybe they were starving the pump momentarily and causing damage. So the fix was just to add 1 more litre of oil. So, yes, there are two different dipsticks. Yes, you can upgrade to the other dipstick. And what that tells us is overfilling, let's say, my 1996 car by 1 litre has absolutely no negative consequences whatsoever. So I think it's interesting more than it's a problem for anybody. I don't think you need to upgrade to a shorter dipstick and add more oil. I think it's interesting. If you want to put the shorter dipstick in, then yeah, you'll be putting a bit more oil in there. If you're going to track your car, then do that. Definitely put the shorter dipstick in and top up to that. Crikey. I thought I might have to use some of the questions I've got written down, but they're flying in. So, Dipsticks. Oh, you won't be able to do that. Removal of cooling. So, Funnel Solo, I think. Sorry, Funnel, if I'm murdering your name. The removal of the cooling fan pack to gain more access is not applicable on my XKR. Cannot get it out. Too many restrictions. Ooh, interesting one. It will come out. It's the simple answer. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. On the XK8, you have to wriggle it, you have to bend the hoses, etc., and you do have more going on at the front of the car on the XKR, supercharger pulleys, etc., and pipe work's a little bit different up there. But that radiator pack does come out, and it comes out straight up as per on the XK8. There must be somebody out there who's done that on an XKR. It'd be nice if we could kind of confirm it in the text, but even nicer if anybody's got any pictures that they could send in, or a little tiny video clip that gives Funnel a few clues as to how you have to maneuver, because that's not something I can share. I don't have a car to go and demonstrate that on. Thank you very much for that one. I managed, so no one should be able to go sports car. It's a sports car. Brilliant. There's got to be a secret. Oh, okay. These fly past a bit quick. Pete C, what is the long-term goal for Olive? Oh, that's a good question. So again, anybody who's not aware, XK8 is my passion. I'm always going to be tinkering with one of those. But I love cars, I love vans, I love anything mechanical. And I really do like the Volkswagen camper vans. And we've got 2 at the moment. I had 3 until not too long ago. So Olive is short for olive oil. And it's an olive-coloured T2 or bay window 1979 camper that I bought as a project. I'm interested in learning more about the T2. It's not something I've ever owned before. And so Olive is a bodywork sound vehicle that had a rotten cargo floor and a completely destroyed Viking conversion interior. It had been stood up for a long time, windows open, etc. It got damp, destroyed, hence the cargo floor going. So my short-term project is to put in a new interior of my own creation, and I'm enjoying doing that, and hence a lot of the videos you guys are seeing. Next is to move on to some mechanical tweaks and improvements, because T2s are very slow and mine's an automatic and they're heavy with all the conversion stuff, but it genuinely will only do 56, 57 miles an hour, and it's a 2-litre. It's a 1979, the last air-cooled. So I'm going to do some servicing, some tweaks on that, and try and get the power up. And then I shall enjoy it for a while, and probably only 6 months, run around and learn a little bit more, and I'll sell it. And the amount of money I'm spending on the conversion profit is dubious, but it'd be nice to get my money back, and then I'll move on to something else. And many cars are on my list to get. Cool. Is there an aftermarket convertible top motor? The stock one is so slow. If the AC has been running for a while, I've already had the motor serviced and fluids replaced. I'm not aware of one, but basically it's just hydraulics. So if you were to take your car to a hydraulics company, somebody who deals with off-road vehicles, diggers and things, as long as they were able to go down to the size of our stuff, I'm sure they'd be able to advise on upgrading motors, etc. But if you're going to do that, put in really long stainless steel braided hoses from the motor through to the latch at the top of the windscreen frame, because the standard ones won't cope with any more pressure. Many people actually throttle back the existing pump to prevent what's called the green shower. It really affects cars that stood out in heat a lot. The UK, we don't have too much of an issue. It happens. People have them break. But if you're in the States, in one of the hot states, then it's quite a well-known thing for that to fail. Papa Keys 3, would the audience be interested in transmission flush info? Is it worth the money? Interesting one. Probably they would. I'm going to do something on Purdy quite soon. As soon as Olive's back out of the garage and more mobile, I'll have the ramp access, and I'm going to do a oil change on Purdy on the transmission. Flushing, yeah, it's a good idea done right. If it's done wrong, you're pushing all the crap around into new places. So yeah, I think if you know somebody who can do a transmission flush for you well, then it's a good idea. Has Purdy had a gearbox oil renewed yet? And is this a job you'll be doing yourself to share on the channel? Gerard Booth. No, she hasn't. Yes, I will. And she's only done 50,000 miles, but obviously she's 23 years old. So I'm going to do it regardless. Don't forget to replace the filter as well. I've had major issues trying to save money on these. Papa Keys 3. Yes, thank you very much, guys. So these are all flying past. Right, I'm going to ignore them just for a second because, like I say, I wanted to make this half an hour-ish. It's more to check out the technology and if it works as a format or not. Let's just have a quick look in my book. I wrote down a couple of things. Right, this is one where I'm asking for a bit of advice from you guys on behalf of one of our subscribers. So Kim Stanley, hi Kim. She asked it might be a he actually, sorry. £15,000 want to spend on an XK8 or an XKR. It's got to be a convertible. We're in the UK. But XKR servicing and repair costs, should they put me off? Now, I know what my stock answer would be, but I don't own an XKR, so others will know better. Mine would be that an XKR will probably cost you in repairs and servicing another couple of £100 a year, if that. The big difference for me in terms of servicing costs is the brakes are really, really expensive because they're Brembo. Anything with that name on just doubles the price. So that's the big difference. Then there's the implied difference, which is you will get through your tires much quicker. XKRs are incredibly torquey. XK8s are fast. XKRs are daft. And so you've got to allow more money for tires, basically, simple as that. And the one thing beyond that, from my point of view, would be dampers. Now, CATS dampers, the adaptive ones, can be fitted to XK8s or XKRs, but predominantly, if you've got an XKR, it's going to have the electronic dampers. They're a lot more expensive than standard. So they're the big differences. Running costs, I think an XKR can be nursed along to be reasonably economical. An XK8 will always beat it, but I don't think you're going to be worrying too much about fuel consumption with either of those cars. You'll just enjoy it too much. Insurance may be an issue depending on how old you are. I'm of an age where it really doesn't matter. Nobody charges me much for anything. But even for me, I think they'd add another 100 on for an XKR. So if you can give some advice, guys, those of you who have experience, is there genuinely a big difference in ownership cost for the supercharged model? Okay. As we're running out of time, I better not read any more of those. I'm just going to flick down my list of texts again. I'm enjoying this. And answer a question. King Cobra again. One more video idea: replacing the seat recline motors and the seat headrest motors, and how to diagnose the issue. Ooh. Okay. Well, the seat headrest tends not to be the motor. It tends to be the cables or the nipples on the ends of the cables come unhooked. Again, I don't have those seats because I have the Lear seats, the very early ones, so it's not something I can share. But I do have a PDF document from one of our subscribers of how they've done it, and I'll go to find time to get that uploaded, or at least put it on the website, maybe on our area for documents, so we can do something about that. Seats. The question that brings to mind again for me is, I think it's Larry Batch, a guy in the States, has got a problem with his car in that the motors have failed with the seat rolled far enough back, but it covers up the Torx bolts that hold the runners down. And he is desperate to know how to get the seats out with those Torx covered up. Garage is suggesting that he'll need to drill through from underneath and drill the bolts out. I'm not in a position to test it on mine, but you could, I think, dismantle the seat covering and go in through the seat to basically get hold of the motor and crank them manually. But if anybody has got any advice on that, it would be absolutely fantastic. And if you could share that in the comments below this video when we finish the live feed, or in here, that would be really useful for Larry. And I should mention Larry before we move on, in that he's part of an organization in the States called Jaguar Associations of New England. I think I may have got that subtly wrong. And Larry was kind enough to do a little interview with me via texts and emails quite a while back now about the channel. And I believe that article is out in the latest edition of Jane's magazine, which is the Coventry Cat. So if you're into the Jane organization and you get that magazine, there'll be a little bit about To the Garage in there. And while we're mentioning people who are contributing to the show and the channel a lot, I've got to big up Gary Van Remortel yet again. Gary, as you know, has generated the XK8 Bible. So based on his own experiences, he's written this mighty tome on what goes wrong, what to replace it with, the part numbers, the specs. It's kind of his bag, that detail. He's very, very good at the written stuff. And he's been adding to it over time because channel plus other sources, he keeps learning more and more. And we've hosted that on the website. And if you've not found it yet, guys, go to the website, www.tothegarage.co.uk. At the top on the menu, one of the things is XK8 Bible and other documents. Go into there and have a look at Gary's documents. Fabulous. Gary did a lot of really helpful things for me when I was setting up or resetting up the website, and I'd like to thank him publicly for that. I really appreciate it. Same goes for Alan Blaine, who has checked out some of the documents and bits and pieces for me, and I've promised to do an XK8 Secrets cross-reference document. I have done that for the first 50 episodes. So basically, it's an Excel document, but you can go onto that same area. It's right underneath Gary Van Remortel's document. Download the Excel sheet, and it lists every one of the first 50 episodes, thumbnail picture, lists the secrets, the main ones, because I share all sorts of bits and pieces for I forget, but 2 or 3 for each episode. And there is a direct link that you can just click on in the Excel sheet, and it takes straight to that video in YouTube. So you can download that, guys. It's on there. and Alan was kind enough to check it out and correct a little bit of it for me. I really appreciate it. There are lots of other people who are really helping out with the channel, and I really appreciate everybody who's getting involved. But just to name a couple, because top of my lists just at the moment. Okay, and just round off with a couple more. Diddly do. Crikey, I've lost where we got to because they've been flying past. XK8, more on tires and braking. Yep. Street Genesis 6. Robert Scogan, thank you very much. Cat suspension. Yep, that's expensive on those too. Brian Robinson, good work, John, liking the format, thank you. Funnel, if you buy Brembo pads from Brembo, they're only €45. Really? That sounds very reasonable. I can still get XK8 pads for half that, but not EBC red. So in the background, I've been out doing some brake testing, and I will put a video together shortly, but spoiler, they work. Gary Cooley, can you drill your own rotors? Yes, you can. No, I wouldn't. If you get it wrong, you'll imbalance them. Plus, drilling the rotors does tend to promote cracks. So I wouldn't. That's my advice. Yes, originals are very expensive. I bought my car new. It's now 19 years and never had to replace them. Gerard Brew, great session, John. Resounding success. Good additional format for the club. Good line, because I was having this conversation with my wife just earlier today. This has morphed into a club. You're never going to pay to be in this club, by the way. But yeah, it's great. I'm enjoying it. It's my car club now that I attend the meetings with you guys. So I'm loving that. Ian Gilbert, has he checked the seat relays first? I don't know, but Larry, if you're listening, check your seat relays. Yeah, that one's a bit of a minefield. If I was there, I know I'd find a way into it for him, but it's in another country. And King Cobra, last video idea, replacing the bulbs for the headlights. Well, I kind of did the bulbs for the headlights the easy way by removing the headlights and changing everything. But I hear you. If you don't know the access points for the headlight bulbs, you can be scratching your head for a very long time before you realize they're easy to get at. So yeah, maybe that's something I can work on. Right, guys, that has run to 37 minutes of me just chatting, reading your messages. I know I've missed at least half of them, but thank you so much for getting involved. I think the net effect is, yes, this probably does work. If I was to give you guys a little more notice for it was happening, rather than I'm going to try that later, I think we could set this up with a bit of a format, i.e., I would always start the session with a little story or something. We take some of the questions that you guys have got and see if we can get some answers live, and then we round it off with something as well. I mean, I build something up that probably fits nicely into a 30-minute session, and maybe it's a once a week. I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys what sort of frequency you think one of these would be useful at, and bearing in mind we're all in different countries. If we're in the UK, is this a good time? Which kind of works for me. And is this absolutely the end of the world, can't get involved for our other viewers elsewhere? Just interested. So we'll round this off by saying, please check out the website. Please support the channel by buying a sticker if you haven't already. I know it's only a small thing, but it just brings a smile to my face that so many people have thought, yeah, I'm going to chuck John a couple of quid and buy a sticker. And super duper thanks to all those who bought a sticker and then emailed me to say, I will never ever put a sticker on my car. I don't do stickers. So consider this my contribution to a nice channel. And we had a lot of those messages, and I really appreciate it. And so we'll get some hats in. In the comments, guys, if there is something that you've got a burning desire to own with the TTG logo on, let me know. It will be a slow burn thing. I'm not turning this again into an empire. It's just, I want a hat. I've got to order a lot, so there'll be a hat. But if there's another place you want to go with this, let me know. Right. We're going to wrap it there because my tea is calling, as in I can hear Joe calling. Are you finished yet? In the hall. Have a really, really nice evening. Enjoy your cars when you can. And I will see you really soon on To the Garage. See you guys. Bye.